Every day we hear stories of floods, fires, and natural disasters. Where do you go when your world is turned upside down and your home sustains water, smoke, or wind damage? Welcome to Celebrate Michigan, the show produced on the campus of Madonna University. I'm your host, Chris Benson. And joining me today is Sheldon Yellen, President and CEO of Belfor Holdings, Incorporated. It's a $2 billion entity which operates a number of companies, including Belfor Property Restoration, the world's largest disaster restoration company. They're headquartered right here in Michigan and widely recognized as a preeminent figure in the restoration industry. Sheldon has developed an influential following of decision makers who love his unconventional management style. Belfor employs over 9,200 men and women in more than 450 offices worldwide. Yellen received national acclaim for his deeply compassionate management style when he was featured in CBS's hit series Undercover Boss. He also appears weekly on ABC's Hearts of Heroes, such a touching show, which showcases our heroes and that they come to the rescue every day in the aftermath of disasters. Welcome to the show. We are delighted to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's a real pleasure and an honor to be here with you.
So I, of course, am a fellow Michigander, have been my whole life.
Sure.
You had your start right here in the great state of Michigan. Tell us about that.
I did. To give you a little flavor on my history, I'm going to go way back in time. Today being 64 years old, that's why I say way back in time. I was raised here in Detroit, and my mom raised 4 boys alone. We grew up in a great time. You know, I was born in the 50s, which is hard to believe. But growing up in the 60s was really a wonderful time. And because my dad was not around, he had gotten sick and just wasn't around, my mom did raise us on welfare. And we were taught at an early age that we're going to work hard, we're going to be good kids, and we're going to be held accountable. And she encouraged us to dream, lay down on that pillow at night and dream and visualize it, and you could be it. If you see it, you can be it. So that's how we were raised. I've been working myself since I'm 11 years old. I started at the original Leo's Coney Island, which is a local brand here.
I'm very familiar with Leo's.
I worked at the original Leo's on 12.5 Mile and Southfield Road.
Wow.
I was a dishwasher. At the time, I made 65 cents an hour. And I can give you a funny story about my upbringing. One day, Pete had said, they called me boy back then. They said, "Hey boy, our waitress didn't show up, go wait on the table." So I went and waited on my first table, and the gentleman left me a $1 tip. Well, when you're making 65 cents an hour and somebody leaves you a $1 tip, I went right to the payphone, which a lot of our young people today won't even know what a payphone is, but I got 10 cents from the till, put it in the payphone. I called my mom. I told her I got a $1 tip. She said, "How are you calling me?" I said, "I'm on the payphone." She said, "You paid 10 cents to call me?"
To tell me this?
To tell me you got a $1. So 10 cents, 10% is gone.
Mm-hmm.
She hung up on me. I said, "You got to be kidding me." She picked me up at 11 o'clock at night. I said, "You hung up on me." She said, "Yeah, I taught you better than that."
Wow.
The value of a $1. That was how we were brought up. From there, I kept getting more and more jobs in the community. Eventually wound up working at the Southfield Athletic Club, a very affluent club in the suburbs. And I was a towel boy. I did laundry. I cleaned a lot of toilets and bathrooms and took care of the members. I shined shoes and just learned throughout the years that there is a way out. There's a way up in our society, in our country, in this great country of ours. And I watched and I listened and I learned. At 14 years old, I started working 7 days a week and have been ever since. I got lucky, got into the restoration business in the 80s. We started with one office in Dearborn, Michigan. That office has evolved into, as you've explained today, about 450 offices in 30-some countries around the world, and I am surrounded by 9,000+ of what I call the greatest people on earth. And our journey has been an incredible journey.
It's overwhelming. I mean, even just reading the statistics I did at the beginning, and again, you started from such humble beginnings, but such hardworking beginnings as well. Yeah. And the people in your company, they are with people at the most challenging time in their life when they've just experienced something unexpected. What is it like to work in those environments?
To explain this to people, it's something I ask people to visualize. Think about standing outside of your own home, watching your house on fire, watching firemen throwing water, and I'm talking about a lot of water. These hoses are pumping water, throwing this water into your home, your personal belongings, your couches, your chairs, your tables, your pictures, all of those personal objects that mean so much to each of us are ruined. They're damaged. Your home, usually people's single largest investment, it's ruined, it's damaged. You're standing on your front lawn watching this, tears. And then you think about, oh my gosh, my kids are here. Where's the dog? Where's my cat?
Right.
Where are our pets? And then all of a sudden somebody walks out holding your dog and tears start flowing.
Sure.
And you would think they're happy tears. Every teardrop is filled with both emotions. You know, thank God everybody's standing here with you. Nobody's left inside. The other side of it is, oh my gosh, my house, our lives are turned upside down without notice. In one moment in time, your world changes. That's when we approach people on what is arguably the worst day of their lives. And it's our job to make sure as we hire at Belfor around the world, we're not hiring based on a resume alone. We're hiring based on this right here, your heart. We need carpenters, painters, drywall people, estimators, project managers, admin people. Everybody at Belfor has got to have as the first hurdle, the first qualifier, has got to have heart.
And I can see where they get their heart from because it comes through in everything you say. Oh, we have to go to a break, but we're going to be right back. I know you want to hear so much more from the President and CEO of Belfor, Sheldon Yellen. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Hi, I'm Peter, and there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends.
Come on in, help yourself to anything.
That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit savethefood.com.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. I'm Chris Benson. Joining me is Sheldon Yellen, President and CEO of Belfor Holdings Incorporated. It's a $2 billion entity which operates a number of companies, including Belfor Property Restoration, the world's largest disaster restoration company. Again, right here in Michigan is where they are headquartered. We left you in the previous segment, it was like a cliffhanger almost, where you had taken us, to the front lawn of a disaster that had just occurred. And, you started talking about the folks on your team that are coming in to help. Take us back there.
And so, Chris, imagine again that you're on the front lawn of your home, watching your home on fire. Yeah. And the firemen are doing their jobs and pumping water into the house, and everything in your life has been turned upside down with no notice. And all of a sudden, we get a phone call to show up from an agent, from adjusters, from the fire department, from the police department. We come because we need to extract water. We need to board up the house. We need to put a fence around it, make sure nobody gets hurt after the event. And we approach you at arguably one of the worst moments of your life. And that hug that we are honored and grateful to be able to give, that hug to us represents the very beginning step of getting your lives back to normal. The assurance that we can give you with that one hug, the few words we can utter into your ear privately, that we're going to rebuild your home and your life. And we're going to do it together. We're going to spend the next month or 2 or 3 or 4 side by side with you, putting stick by stick back into that home. We're going to restore your personal property. And we're going to give you the confidence within 1 or 2 days that you can see this yourself unfolding. That is an honor to be able to serve those in need. And that's why when we hire, as I started to say, we hire based off the heart more than we do a resume.
And where do we go from there? I have to bring up Undercover Boss, because I think, you understand what your employees go through, and I know you select them very carefully to fulfill all these roles you mentioned that Belfor has, the people that come in and do the many things that are needed after a disaster. Sure. And I saw the episode a few times now, and it was Emmy nominated, I want to say, which amazing. Congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
And what really came through in that is that you were very vulnerable. It was a humbling experience, if I saw and ascertained that correctly.
I think you're right on. And so we were approached to obviously go on Undercover Boss, and I said, well, I don't know if we're going to do it. And then I was encouraged by our top team members that we should do it, and I agreed. But up until the time of filming, I was just working away in the office. All of a sudden, one day, 7 o'clock in the morning, I hear all this commotion going on, and there's a 17-person film crew there. And we went down the street. We had to go buy a wig, and they put a wig on me, and they had asked me not to shave for about a month prior. And then they gave me my fake glasses. And so I had my disguise. And next thing I know, we're on the airplane, and I'm going to film for 11 days. And I did not know what to expect. I started out, at the bottom. I was doing water extractions. I was doing board ups. I was working in the field. I started estimating. I was project managing. And I don't forget what it was like to be in the field. Things evolved. I wound up in the office. I wound up running the company. All of a sudden, I find myself in a uniform, out in the field, working alongside some of our incredible employees. And I realized, oh my, you know what? I've lost a little bit of touch with this. Sitting behind a desk a little too long. And all of a sudden it hit me, my emotions overcame me when Jen, one of our incredible water techs at the time, told me that she was hired in, was looking forward to a raise because of the recession that hit in 2008. I put a wage increase freeze in place across the world to protect all of our Belfor families.
Sure.
I didn't realize some of the effect that it would have on people that were looking to start their careers and make advances and grow and build on their own personal lives based off their efforts. So my intent is to protect 9,000 families, but it hurts some. When I saw and felt the pain in Jen, that's when I became the first undercover boss to obviously reveal himself. And tears filled up in my eyes. And I think that's what got us the Emmy nomination. I'm happy to report today, A, Jen did get a raise like I committed to.
Excellent.
B, she is training now internationally for us.
Oh, wonderful.
And is just absolutely doing an incredible job, loving it. And this is now 9-10 years later. And I just ran into her a couple months ago. She was in Ann Arbor, and I was leaving a facility. She was pulling in, and she called me and said, "Boss, was that you?" And I said, "What do you mean, was that me?" And she said, "Was that you that just passed me?" And I said, "Yeah." I turned the car around. I got to get one last hug in before we parted ways, and she's doing great. And it brought me back to my roots, undercover boss.
Well, and again, what I think comes through in everything you're saying is that the work that the people in your company are doing it's more than work or a job, it's a calling. They have to be there with people. I mean, it sounds like you're there with people and they need to be in that space.
You know, people say to us all the time, "Oh, you guys are in the restoration business." I say, well, kind of. What we really are is we're in the giving people hope business. That's really the business we believe we're in. We want to give people hope that tomorrow's going to be a better day. And if we are honored and get that opportunity to serve those in need, it doesn't get any better than that. And that's the culture that we're living in.
Ooh, and if there's anything the world needs right now, I think it's a little more hope. So I hope you're going to stay tuned for just a few more minutes. We're going to be back and we'll have again Sheldon Yellen, our president and CEO of Belfor. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with Celebrate Michigan.
This top, it's so gay.
Really?
Yeah, it's totally gay.
You know, you really shouldn't say that.
Say what?
Well, say that something's gay when you mean it's bad. It's insulting. What if every time something was bad, everybody said, "Oh, that's so girl wearing a skirt as a top"?
Oh, you are.
Those are cute jeans, though. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Learning how to kickflip 6 stairs takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Nice.
Yes, go! Yes!
No! Come on! Oops.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. Now, we already had 4, so I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. Now, you can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Rich?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. Again, I'm Chris Benson, and joining me is Sheldon Yellen, President of CEO and Belfor Holdings Incorporated. Again, there's just an enormous entity that operates a number of companies, including Belfor Property Restoration, which is the largest restoration company in the world. Again, it's just incredible. Right here from Little Michigan to across the world. Something I know our viewers have got to be familiar with is the show that you are on now, Hearts of Heroes. How did you come to be affiliated with that show?
So Hearts of Heroes, which is on a competitive station,
sure.
ABC.
Yeah.
We're on every week. And what we get to do is show the heroic work of our great first responders, firemen and policemen in action, EMTs in action, every week doing heroic things, rescuing people from a flood situation, rescuing people from an earthquake, rescuing people from hurricane situations, fires. And we are so honored that we get to present them in the good light that they deserve. And think about it. You're a policeman, you're a fireman, you're an EMT, front line. You get a phone call, 911 dispatches you. You do not know what you're going to face.
Yeah.
But without thinking, with no hesitation, while everybody else is running out, you're running in. Unfortunately, sometimes putting your own life on the line, running into a burning building, running into, unfortunately, terrible criminal situations. And we get to present these people in good light. It's such an honor for me. It's been a passion of mine for years to thank our men and women in blue. And I'm just honored that I get to do it. It's fun, but most importantly, it's really rewarding and gratifying for me because they themselves, they don't take too many applauses. They just don't. They say, what are you doing? That's our job.
Sure.
And I get to make them stop for just a moment in time and hear us all saying, thank you.
And your enthusiasm and passion and love and appreciation for them just comes through so naturally on that show. It just makes it a pleasure to watch.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you.
I want to ask, we've got a lot of students that work on the show, and I know there's students in the audience that'll be watching. What advice do you have for them about going forward? You're someone who's learned a lot in life, and you've gone really far, and you look very successful. You are very successful. You don't just look successful, you are. What advice do you have for them, for people that are just starting out?
First, I will say this, that I think you're so terrific, and all of the people here at the university are such terrific people because you get to really lay the imprint and lay the foundation for all these young people who are going to springboard off of the foundation you're giving them, and they're going to go on and do great things. And as you get older and you start looking back on life and you start to envision what the future will or could look like, it's all in the hands of these young people that you guys are molding here today. And if I had a chance to talk to each and every one of them, I would say, focus on what is that dream of yours? What is it? Narrow it down. As you go through school, you may start out with 10, 12, 15 thoughts. Narrow it down to 8 or 9. Get it down to 4 or 5. When you zero in on what is that dream of yours, visualize it. I learned this from my mother long ago. Visualize it. If you can see it, I promise you, in this great country of ours, you can be it. So take a moment, visualize it, and go for it. I say to young people today, I listen to all these older people, my generation, oh, the millennials this, the Generation Xers that. I say, no, I don't buy it. Nope, they're great kids. They got heart, they got passion, they got dreams. Don't let older people like in my generation give you that stigma. Go out and work hard. If you think somebody's working harder than you and you can do more, show them, go do more. Take the passion inside of you and let it out. Don't be afraid to fail because we learn so much from our failures. Go out there, put it on the line, and just work hard. Always stay on the high road. Always, always, always stay on the high road. It pays off. Let your heart guide you. And I'm telling you, over a long period of time, your dreams can and will be realized. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. If it could happen for me, it can happen for you. And if you ever need encouragement, call me. I'll be there to cheer you on.
So if they were looking for Belfor and for you, there's a website I know that we have for Belfor,
Sure.
and we'll put that on the screen so we can make sure they can find you. So inspiring. Everything that you've said, I think, just is really what the world needs to hear now when we've got so many challenges going on. I'm curious, you've risen to this wonderful pinnacle of success. I'm sure it's not the pinnacle, it's probably up here. I'm sure there's more that you've got planned to go. How do you define success? Someone in your position, what does success mean to you?
What success means to me is that I can help others move on up with their dreams, get closer and closer and closer to fulfilling their dreams. You know, when you're younger, you seem to focus on it's all about you. It's all about me, me, me. As you get older and as you get more and more successful, you start to realize that success really means what can you pass on to others? And if you look at Madonna University, look at its founding. Was that not all about what you can pass on to others? And how many thousands of young people have been given a foundation to springboard from? It's true in our lives too as we become successful. We want to pass on good things to young people. And so when I try and define success today, how many young people can I possibly reach out to and touch in a positive way and have them just pick up one tidbit of information from me that might help them in the future. And then to see them pass it on, that to me is success.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheldon, for being here today. Just so inspiring. We're so blessed to have you on our campus. Thank you, and on our show.
Thank you so much for having me. And again, to all you young people out there, go for it. Don't hesitate. Go for it.
Awesome. And thank you again for watching. We are so grateful to have you in our audience, and we hope you're listening very carefully to these lessons. See you next time.